All right, another big development as we follow Biden corruption. Today, House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer revealing that Hunter Biden paid his father from his business account, which received payments from Chinese state-linked companies. This is the ayahuasca company that you've heard about. These are heavily redacted bank records that were subpoenaed. They show that the business entity, Ayahuasca PC, was set up to make direct monthly payments, $1,380 each, $1,380 a month. To his father's personal account on 3 separate occasions, September, October, and November of 2018. Congressman Comer joins us now to talk more about this. Sir, it's good to have you on. At 1380, I'm thinking of the millions and millions that have been brought in from China. What exactly is this money? It's not a huge amount of money, but what is it?
This is money directly to Joe Biden from one of these shell companies. And of all the shell companies, Rob, this is the worst one. This is the one that was investigated most heavily by the IRS, most heavily by the Department of Justice, most heavily by the FBI. This is the one that received the most suspicious activity reports from the banks, where they notified Treasury that they believed their client was involved in some type of corruption. So Joe Biden benefited directly from one of Hunter Biden's companies that received money from China. This is a direct link from China to Joe Biden. This is what the media said we had to have. This is what Jean-Pierre said didn't exist. She said Joe Biden was never in business with his son. He never received any money from his son. Joe Biden said, show me the money. Here's more evidence of more money going directly to Joe Biden.
So the pushback that we're already seeing, there's a lot of people out there that are determined to make sure that nobody believes the mountain of evidence that we've seen, that obviously Joe Biden was in business with his son and brother, selling his power around the world. You got a lot of people, including, here's a tweet from an analyst that says that these are just payments already reported in the media for a truck that Joe Biden bought for his son. He says, I don't think fronting a son money for a truck is an impeachable offense. He says another swing and a miss. Your response to that?
That's bullcrap. Look, if he wanted to send his money to his son for a truck, then send him money for his truck. But he got paid back from China. So it doesn't matter whether all this money we're showing that's going into Joe Biden's back pocket was a loan or not, which it wasn't. But let's say because the media says it is, it was a loan. He got paid back from the influence peddling scheme. So we've now proven $250,000 that Joe Biden received directly from his family's influence peddling scheme. You can loan people money. If they pay you back, then you benefited directly from the influence peddling scheme, because he could have loaned $250,000 and never been paid back, then he would have lost $250,000. But because he was paid back and we traced the cash, Rob, it came directly from the influence peddling scheme. So this is what the media dared us for months and months and months to prove. They said you have to prove where Joe Biden directly benefited from his family's influence peddling scheme. Here it is. Now, you think about this, Rob, and I'll get through this real quick. If Joe Biden's trying to say, well, he was the great dad. He wanted to help his son out. His son was in a financial pickle, even though that particular month he received about $400,000 in wires from all over the world. But let's just for the story's sake, he needed help, so he helped his son. Well, then he got paid back from China. So it was no skin off Joe Biden's back. When my son needs help or my daughter who's in college needs help, I just give her money. Nobody ever pays me back. But in each instance, he got paid back from the influence peddling scheme.
It's still, it's just, you're looking at this, and I mean, I see this is, you're just getting through it, and we still remember that they said that, the way they had set this up, it was going to take years to uncover how this money actually got to Joe Biden, and you're just still chipping away, trying to get there, and we're getting closer and closer and closer, as all the deniers out there say that there's still no evidence at all. We're still waiting for kind of like that big slam where it's like, here's, because, I mean, you're talking millions of dollars here. At some point, a large sum of money got to Joe Biden.
It did, but you look, when this was cut off, the end of 2018, we know from the IRS whistleblower notes that the IRS was rolling in on them. And the way they were operating from 2014, while Joe Biden was vice president, to the end of 2018 is consistent. But from the end of 2018 through the time Joe Biden became president, they started changing the way they were operating. Instead of going through the shell companies, they were doing more direct wires to personal accounts. In each instance, from 2018 to 2020, they were saying everything was a loan. That way they didn't have to report it to the IRS. So the Bidens had this great idea. Okay, we'll get the IRS off our back. We'll quit reporting income to the IRS. We'll say everything's a loan. So Joe Biden, the White House is trying to say these last payments we just disclosed today were loans. But because he couldn't get credit to get a truck, are we supposed to believe that China loaned him over $10 million and he didn't have enough credit to get a truck payment, but China would loan him $10 million and expect it to be paid back? I mean, this story doesn't make sense.
No,
and the Washington Post and other media outlets should be ashamed for the way they're covering this story.
No, and they've done a remarkable job of trying to cover the tracks here, which is why it's so difficult for you to dismantle this thing and to watch as our media out there just buy into their narrative, which makes no sense whatsoever, because they are so intent on keeping this man in the White House is the most shameful part. Keep digging, sir. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rob.